30 people a day are being arrested in the UK. Not for stabbing, stealing, or scamming the system, but for hurty words they shared on social media. Yet somehow people are still allowed to post every day about Meghan and Harry doing the hustlers hop. While the world was snoring, Britain got conquered by political correctness without firing a single shot. That's how people can wake up one morning to see Bobby's trying to batter down a door, and they end up watching a squad of sisters put on a magic show with no happy ending.
Bit harder. Go on. Hit it.
Give up with it.
You call yourself police force? No force in you.
The land of the Magna Carta in Milton now treats memes as crimes and free speech like a felony. And if you thought that was going too far, just wait, because now the government wants to fine you £2,500 if you don't keep tea bags in your car. Yes, you heard that right. Tea bags. Not narcotics, knives, or crisps with razor-sharp edges, but old, used, soggy tea bags, because apparently they absorb moisture and help to fog the windows. That's how the empire that once ruled half the planet is now putting out public service announcements about breakfast beverages. It's the very same way you have so-called experts who claim to love Britain are rewriting her history in crayon, all so children can learn how to twerk before they learn how to spell. And it's because they want to teach those very same kids that Stonehenge was built by Wakanda.
We've got the Telegraph with a great advert for homeschooling. British school kids are taught that Stonehenge was built by Somalians. Simon.
Yes, this is it beyond belief. School children taught black people built Stonehenge. And the report says it was in a book called Brilliant Black British History.
What the fuck are you talking about?
By Atinuka, the Nigerian-born British author.
Who?
Says that Britain was a black country for more than 7,000 years before white people came.
Ooh, yeah. I'm going to have to go ahead and sort of disagree with you there.
It starts in the Stone Age and it goes all the way to the modern age, the age of Stormzy. I wrote this book because I wanted to recommend books to primary school teachers and families.
Seriously, what are they going to think of next? Publishing a textbook that claims King Arthur was an asexual albino atheist who wanted to unionize the Knights of the Round Table, all while sipping avocado milk from the Holy Grail, just to quench his thirst before he went on a quest to find a race-swap Merlin. Oh, wait a second. They already did that one.
Come home, Arthur. Only you can save Britain. You will be needed in the dark times ahead.
That's the game right now. Rewrite the past so no one remembers the truth. And if you even try to change things for the better today, you're going to find out pretty quickly that when you're right, you're not only wrong, but you're dangerous. That's why tea bags got deputized, drones got weaponized against litter bugs, testosterone got estrogenized, and universities continue to debate whether pounds, pints, and ounces should be euthanized. You know the reasons why. It always boils down to someone's feelings got hurt. It's either that or jealousy. It's the very same reason that one woman with wrong think stays locked up in jail while another who lived a thug life gets to walk free. And if you question any of it or dare to wave the Union Jack, congratulations. You'll be locked up faster than the parents who were treated like Pablo Escobar simply because they loved their child. Worse, you might be slammed in solitary, confined for a year to watch Netflix's With Love Meghan on endless repeat.
What we can't grasp is how on earth they thought the right thing to do was to send 6 police officers and 3 cars to our house, arrest both of us, and search the property out of nowhere. That does not make sense.
I felt like I was in a dream. And I was thinking, am I going to wake up soon? I need to wake up from this nightmare.
When you watch the doorbell footage, you think, what are these 6 police officers doing? What is this operation? Is it a terror cell? Is it a drug den they're about to raid? No, it was 2 parents in a dispute with a school.
I hate to say this because I love my cousins across the pond, but the UK is being slow marched into the grave. But don't lose hope, because what doesn't kill you doesn't just make you stronger, it makes you stand taller and fight harder. And when there is one man ready to rise, that means there are millions of British lions ready to roar. and I'm right there with you.
Now for wrath, now for ruin, and the red dawn.
If you want to see the heroes of England rise, hit subscribe. But if you want to know how proud nations get dragged in the mud, go check out my Father's Day video. It's a tribute to real men, true grit, and the last line of defense against collapse. I promise you, by the end of it, your batteries won't only be recharged, they'll be reignited. Now, there's something we should never forget. England gave the world greatness. We're talking about freedom, common law, the English language, the Industrial Revolution, and the steel spine to fight tyranny in 2 world wars. And much longer before that, you had 17,000 British soldiers fought and died to end slavery. And that's a cost not only measured in blood, which is one we honor, but in today's money, that is well over 20 billion pounds. Yet, that England, the land of Disraeli, Churchill, and Queen Elizabeth II, has been hijacked by modern-day puppets that stay silent while 50 pubs a month shut down, that do nothing while jokes that offend 2 spirited Wiccans that identify as Sherwood Forest get banned, and all while 2-tier Keir laughs on the sidelines as Shakespeare gets sanitized for sensitive souls.
William Shakespeare's birthplace in Stratford-upon-Avon, of course, is being decolonised following concerns. Who from? About the playwright being used to promote white supremacy. Now, this is Shakespeare's Birthplace Trust. They own buildings linked to the Bard in Stratford-upon-Avon, and they have archival material as well. And they want to decolonise it, they say, to create a more inclusive museum experience. First of all, how is celebrating Shakespeare, yes, a white man, promoting white supremacy, and how do you decolonise that?
Every great civilization, unfortunately, eventually gets mugged by a mob of bitter nobodies. This is how it works, because fools start outnumbering fighters and real men stop standing guard. See, Shakespeare, he didn't write just plays. He held a mirror up to the world. And that mirror now offends every Facebook fame chaser and phony philosopher that knows deep down in their hearts that their PhD in feelings won't outlast a single line from King Lear. So now the Bard gets blackballed because a coven of quinoa crusaders drinking their conflict-free unicorn tears got offended that Hamlet didn't honor the oppressed trauma of their historical chakras. That's it. But when you take a look back and you dive a little bit deeper, you'll see that the man who was born in 1564, before Britain even had colonies, is being erased for only one reason: because he didn't credit his genius to a battalion of Bangalore Bobs, Martian moon poets, or even Meghan Markle's acting coach.
Oh my God, it's crazy. You're like, Meghan, 1 tear, left eye, go.
Western academics should try once in a while to empower other cultures to build their own lessons instead of wasting time trying to launch crusades to de-Westify good old Will. The truth that clown world will never tell you is that true diversity of thought and art doesn't erase greatness, it celebrates it in the very same way the Japanese have been doing for the last 200 years by staging a Midsummer's Night's Dream since the Meiji Restoration. I still find it really odd that on one hand you have Tokyo honoring history, and on the other hand you got the witches of Stratford-upon-Avon demanding that Macbeth be rewritten with menstrual breaks. Well, that's where we are today. Welcome to the United Kingdom 2025, where the weather forecast calls for afternoon showers and a 70% chance of BBC anchors doing an interpretive dance routine about cow farts, all while the country gets mugged in broad daylight to the tranquil tones of cultural enrichment, just as actors' demands for butterless bread rises.
With kitchen knives, I hate to say it, not all kitchen knives need to have a point on them. That sounds like a crazy thing to say, but actually it would reduce. You know, you can still cut your food without the point on the knife, which, you know, the loophole on the heritage knives allows the sale of ninja swords to be sold. So while, you know, you've got your granddad's sword on there and you want that, that's fine, of course, but it is leaving a loophole for someone to carry a ninja sword. So let's ban them all. And if you have one of those knives, get a license for it. Simple as that.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
So let's ban them all. And if you have one of those knives, get a license for it. Simple as that.
Today, Idris wants to ban butter knives. Tomorrow, it's going to be pointy breadsticks. See, because in his version of London, the logic is simple. If it can cut cheese, it can kill a vibe. But what celebrities like him fail to understand is that evil doesn't need a blade or a bat. It just needs bad intentions. That and the world's original, oldest tool of terror, a man's hands. But who knows? Maybe the actor already found a solution for that one too.
Now stand aside, worthy adversary. 'Tis but a scratch. A scratch? Your arm's off.
If we listen to Idris Elba wanting to build his brave new world, life's going to become very simple very fast. He's going to introduce Operation Stump Day. It's going to be sponsored by Feelings First UK and produced by Hollywood. They're going to line up all the peasants, cue the charity sing-along, and off come the limbs. And the good news is, if you ever get blasted by a toxic whiff of someone's weak old kebabs, you won't be able to swing your bruisers anymore. But you'll still be able to headbutt the phone to dial 999. Only problem, when your nose starts to bleed, it will still take 11 hours for the ambulance to show up. But in the meantime, while you're passed out on the floor, you can still smile that the receptionists who are supposed to help you by taking your call are busy unpacking their climate anxiety toolkits, just as the NHS continues to burn £115,000 a year to hire managers that reflect the modern way of life. Bottom line, there aren't any real celebrities any more than there is healthcare. It's just all hospice for common sense. Think about that. And then let that sink in before you realize that Great Britannia, which was once known as the empire that the sun never set upon, now allows Brits to get bent over by bureaucrats and blindsided by a king.
We hope that you have a blessed and fulfilling Ramadan. Peace be upon you all. My wife and I can only offer you all our kindest and most special wishes and stress just how greatly the contribution of Muslims to the life of the United Kingdom is appreciated and valued.
The big question is, what about the Easter Bunny's holiday celebrations? Sad fact is, he got jumped at a meet and greet where he was passing out chocolate, eggs, and joy. But we secured exclusive footage of the beatdown.
It's for Brody.
Poor Bunny couldn't make it to brunch, which meant he couldn't film a video for the 27 million Brits who were ready to celebrate with a Sunday feast. But the good news is, while Bunny was bedridden, the reigning monarch of the United Kingdom was available, so he stepped up and wrote a note to the nation. He just forgot what the holiday was about. Or did he?
Did he have to write this paragraph? The love he showed was when he walked the earth reflected the Jewish ethic of caring for the stranger and those in need, a deep human instinct echoed in Islam. Did he have to put that?
Well, again, you see, it's all part of trying to sort of balance, but actually, you know, the sentiment of most religions at times is good, but for the king, he wants to be the defender of all faiths, as you say, and that is the balancing act that he's got to negotiate.
But we're celebrating Easter.
Well, therein lies the point, and sometimes, you know, this is what people, the Christian faith, many people might say, gets ignored,
yes,
and is seen as almost the weakest religion.
But also,
whereas the others...
if the other religions don't celebrate Easter, then we shouldn't be mentioning them, should we?
In theory, you're probably right there, David.
I'm definitely right.
Too bad King Charles couldn't find the same kind of nerve he used to offend his people when it comes to dealing with his son Harry and his wife. But let's be honest. The Meghans, they're just a symptom of the times, nothing more. A prime example of the rotten Western society. And like all bad things, even their grift now has a guaranteed expiration date.
Do you think when William eventually becomes king, he will strip Harry and Meghan of their royal titles?
I do. I honestly
You do?
I think once William's the king, there is absolutely no way back for those two.
Wow.
I mean, zero.
You think they'll be stripped of their titles by King William?
Yeah.
Britain has survived invasions, plagues, and broken promises. But can it survive not being British? Right now, the home of liberty has more Facebook felons than a Siberian gulag. It went from Tweed, Tolkien, and football to big cities like Leicester, where fish and chips are lost in translation. Take a look around. Churchill's ghost can't chomp a good cigar, history gets trashed, customs get destroyed, and tents roam the streets like banshees at night where even the shadows are afraid to stare. And now, add to that, pubs are under siege. Bander bouncers may be coming where they're going to be trained to boot you if you deliver a bad pun or an off-colored joke. Now, I keep talking about pubs because they're not just watering holes. They are the beating pulse of British life. And if they vanish, you're going to have communities calcify, camaraderie die, and the whole house of cards starts to fall. And it all begins with the laws. You have old ones that get ignored, like an MP who told the Rotherham girls to stay silent. Don't dare to say a word because that would risk sinking the sacred ship of inclusivity. And then you have new laws, some you never heard of, like one that tells you where and when you can sing a particular song.
Religion you're allowed to do anywhere.
No, miss, you're not allowed to sing church songs outside of church grounds, by the way.
You're not allowed to sing church songs outside
of church songs or church
you're not allowed
grounds. That's fine.
You're not allowed. She just said you're not allowed to sing church songs outside of church.
Outside of church grounds, unless you have
That's
you've
a load
been
of rubbish.
authorized by the church to do this
Yes.
kind of songs.
It's not saying anything anymore. Are you saying that you don't care about the Human Rights Act? You're lost?
No matter how loud the cheers get from the peanut gallery, they cannot escape one undeniable truth. This isn't the death rattle for Britain. It is its wake-up call. And once the sleeping lion rises, it's not only going to remember its roots, it's going to remember how it was meant to be free. Not polite, compliant, but powerful, fearless, and unbreakable to the bone. Now, if you enjoyed that video and found value in it, hit subscribe, smash the like button, and share with everyone you know. To win every battle and stay true to yourself, all you have to remember is we never bow down, we never bend the knee. Always forward.